What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, everyone. We'll get started in a few minutes. Let more people come on in. But enjoy the music in the meantime. Enjoy this little 70s chop right here. All right, we got about 30 more seconds before we get started. Appreciate everybody that's showing up. All right. All right. Thank everyone that's showing up right now. I see a couple people in the building that's actually from Level Up in Tech. What's up, Tamara? What's up, Kevin? What's up, Jay? I appreciate everybody that's coming on right now. If those who don't know me, my name is Broadus Palmer, CEO and founder of Level Up in Tech, but I have a special guest today. The pioneer software engineer for Black women in tech. This lady is the creator of something I think that's going to take the world by storm and help decrease the salary gap or pay gap that we have in this industry. Her name is Kesha Williams. Hey, Kesha, thank you so much for coming up and really talking to us today. How are you today?
I'm doing well, and I'm very excited to be here.
Hey, so introduce yourself a little bit. Tell people who you are, what you do, and one interesting fact about yourself that maybe a lot of people may not know.
Sure. So my name is Kesha Williams. I've been in IT for 26 years now.
Wow.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Yeah, I've been in IT for a few minutes. I currently work with a company called A Cloud Guru. I'm a principal training architect. So that is what I do.
She's a big dog, y'all. That's what that means. She's a big dog. But yeah.
One fun fact about myself. Let's see. I once held a top secret security clearance when I worked for the NSA. That's a fun fact.
Wow. So the clearance is gone and you don't have that clearance anymore?
No, it's gone. It's gone.
Look, people
when I left there, it ended.
People work their butt off and really try to get a clearance. So that clearance can.
It was hard. It was hard to get.
I'll bet.
I have never been through anything like that before in my life, just to get a job.
Wow. So I know with the clearance, they'll talk to like your neighbors?
Yes, they came in person. They talked
Oh,
to neighbors. They
okay.
came. I was in college at the time. They spoke to my professors. They spoke to my friends. I had to speak to a shrink. I had to have a lie detector test. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, we appreciate you sharing that interesting fact. And we want to get to the meat and potatoes where everybody's here to learn more about you, learn more about your new product, Salary Overflow, that's going to take the world by storm. I personally love it. I think it's a great tool to use. And I know everyone that's going to be on this call and those who watch it after is going to see the same thing. So I want to jump into the first question, right? So we know this industry is exploding with new talent. And, since COVID is coming, we're in this pandemic, everyone wants to transition into tech, right?
Right.
Now, this means there is going to be a lot of developing engineers that are looking for new opportunities, right? So tell us more about how you came into the industry and the gaps you've seen over the years, your 26 years, in regards to Black women in tech.
Sure. So I started, I guess, in tech at a very young age without even knowing that what I was doing was considered like something technical. And so I would say I started maybe in the ninth or 10th grade. And
Wow.
yeah, my father actually purchased a personal computer and he used it to do the family finances. And we had this room that was Kesha's playroom / his office. And so on one end, I had like Barbie and Ken and all of my toys. And on the other end was this computer. And whenever I would be in the room playing, I looked at the computer and to me, it was just like another toy. So I started playing on it. And so my first programming language was the BASIC programming language. So that does tell you how old I am. So I started with BASIC and I started coding. And like I said, I didn't even realize that what I was doing was called coding. And then maybe in the 11th grade, my father sent me away to a summer science enrichment training program at a local college. And they taught me more about chemistry and computer science. And I think that experience really sealed the deal for me because I fell in love with computers. And so when it was time for me to go away and go to college, I decided to major in computer science and mathematics. And so at the time I lived in South Carolina. That's where I grew up. Then I moved here to Georgia to attend Spelman College and I fell in love with Atlanta. And so I stayed. And I've been in IT ever since then.
That's crazy, like how you started from, like ninth grade, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And that can show you right now where people can start at 14, 15 years old and where they can be at when they graduate, right?
Right.
Even now in this day and time, like when you went through it back then, college was the thing, right? Going to get a computer science degree,
right.
And then as well. Now they can easily learn this stuff while they're in school and come out with some experience and project work and potentially get a role right out of high school.
Right. And I think about my oldest son. He's 20 now, but when he was in high school, he started learning like the Java programming language, and like his 12th grade year, he was actually working part-time building like WordPress websites for people making money. And I'm just like, yeah, tech is definitely I'm just happy I fell into tech. That's all I could say.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I came late. I didn't discover tech until I was 33 years old. However, I think it's something that right now it's now and what the future holds, right? Where if people didn't understand tech then, you're going to be forced to one way or another now, right? So you might as well just learn it, embrace it, get into this industry, make some great life-changing money, and prepare yourself to levels that you never thought, and challenge yourself mentally as well to learn more than you ever thought you could learn.
Right.
So while you going through your 26-year tenure as in different roles, specifically as a software engineer, what type of challenges you were faced with as a Black woman, and what type of gaps did you see that made you want to create Salary Overflow?
Well, it goes without saying that I faced a ton of challenges throughout my 26-year career. You know, being a Black woman in tech, definitely underrepresented. A lot of times I'd be the only female in the room or the only African American in the room. So that just comes with a lot of challenges. I would say one of those challenges would be the pay gap, the pay inequality. And my first, I guess, introduction to that was actually my first job out of college. I remember sitting around a room with all of the new hires, and I was the only female and I was the only African American, and we were all talking about our starting salaries. And out of everyone in the room, my salary was the lowest.
Wow.
And we all had, similar GPAs. We'd all had summer internships. And I just thought to myself, okay, what is it about me that makes them feel it's okay to offer me like $20,000 lower than what this person over here is making? And that has literally followed me through most of my career. I remember being working in organizations where, again, I'm the only female on the team. I'm the only Black person on the team. And I look around at everybody on the team and they're able to afford all these lavish vacations. Now, mind you, they have a stay-at-home wife with 4 kids in private school, and they're able to go off to Hawaii. And I just remember thinking, how much money are they making?
Right.
Because I look at me, at the time I was a single mom. I didn't really have any debt, just my house and my car. And I'm like, what is the deal? And so just throughout my career, I've seen the inequality and the inequities. And so that was one reason why I created Salary Overflow. I always wished that there was just a system I could go to and just say, how much do Black women software engineers make in Atlanta? And so that really was one of the reasons why I built Salary Overflow. Another reason, just for me being in tech, it's always I always tell people it's important to keep your skills current, to keep yourself marketable, to do things that you can add to your resume so that you're never stuck in a position or in a company where you feel like you can't leave. And so for Salary Overflow, it really started as a proof of concept for me, and also a way to just play around and learn new skills. So it's all built in the cloud on AWS, but it was my first time using the AWS Amplify service that helps you build full stack web applications rapidly. It was my first time using React for the front end web development. Typically in the past, I've used Angular. So I said, why not learn something new? And so it was also my first time using GraphQL. In the past, I've used REST API. So I said, GraphQL is all the rage. Let's see what this thing is about. And so really, it was a win-win. I was learning new skills and I was building something that could help everyone in the industry.
Wow. So that's what is needed, right? So you were the ones like, hey, you know what? Let's do something about it right now, especially where we see more Black women coming into tech, right? I see a lot of Black women going to the security field as well, but regardless of where area you in tech, this tool can help you understand your worth, right? This is because you were paid less because you just didn't understand what you were worth back then and what other people were getting paid. You didn't know, right? So this is something to get ahead and get your foot in the door and understand what you can get coming out of the gate, and understand that, hey, this is my bottom line, and if we're not meeting here, I'm not working for you, right? So, I want to put you on the spot a little bit. I'm sorry, but do you mind sharing your screen so people can see Salary Overflow? And I'm going to ask you some questions about it, and so they can see how it works. You guys, you can go to salaryoverflow.com right now. If you're on your computer, split your screen, look at this, and look at the site at the same time.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Can everyone see it? Put a KW in the chat if you can see it. KW. Put the KWs in the chat. There we go. KW. Great.
Okay.
Yes. So tell us more about Salary Overflow here, how it works, what we do.
So this is just the main screen. It's you to create an account. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, very simple. You join, you enter your username and password. And I'm looking this way because I'm looking at my second monitor so I can navigate. So once you log in, it just simply brings you to a page that looks like this. And it's just a listing of all of the salaries in the system. So right now I've had over 2,000 people sign up and enter their salary information. Wow. And like I said, it's a table. You're able to just navigate here using these arrows at the bottom. Now, let's say you're curious and you want to know, like, how much do people make in Atlanta? And so there's a feature that actually filters the table, and you're able to look at it and say, hey, there's a project manager, make $57,000, 5 years experience in Atlanta. And you can just kind of scroll through this list. You also see the gender. And what I've noticed, there's a lot of women that have entered their salary information. We need more men. So we really have a good comparison because we know that there's a gender pay gap. Let's see. So, for example, if you want to, let's just say you're in Europe. And there are a lot of people, like it has global data. So I've seen people from India, Mexico, just like all over the world, all these European countries, they've gone in and entered their salary information. So that shows me like this is an issue, not just in the United States. It's global and it's in tech. So you can filter, like I said, based on the country or in this case, euros. Let's say you want to see how much developers make. There, you can filter on developers and just see and kind of filter, through the list.
Even if someone really is not using a tool to kind of gauge the pay in a certain area, they can still be a part of it by giving data themselves, right?
Right.
Building the process, and that's super dope.
Right now, it's really, like I said, I was sharing this with Broadus before we started recording, but this was really just a little side project that I started working on because I wanted to learn more. And it's a proof of concept. It's right now, it's in data collection phase, but it's like really blossomed into more than what I ever expected it to be. There's just been a lot of positive feedback on the app. And I keep saying, I just picked 5,000. Once I get 5,000 people to sign up, like the next phase, I'll add like additional features. I'm thinking about incorporating machine learning to be able to help with salary projections, being able to help with demand for a given role in a given city based on searches. And so there are a lot of different ways that I could take this if the demand is there.
Yeah. So I see Kimberly, I'm just going to ask this question, and normally we don't take questions until the end, but she said, how current are the salaries on the site?
So I actually released the application October of last year. So everything you see is pretty recent.
Nice.
October.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, so I want to jump in and ask you another question about, tips that you can have. I mean, right now, once again, since this industry is exploding and it's changing every day, right? Even with job descriptions are interchangeable now. I mean, job titles are interchangeable now, where they might put a title here and ask for this role, but the job description says something else, right?
Right.
What can people like myself, women, can do to help them prepare more and learn more about their worth and build the confidence to obtain it?
Yeah, definitely. I would say familiarize yourself with the industry salary trends And you can do that through, like, there's some job postings where they actually enter a salary or they enter a salary range. And then, of course, you can always use Salary Overflow
Right.
to
Yeah.
kind of see like what you should expect and really to build confidence. And I thought about this question and how I build confidence. And it really goes back to just continuous learning, continuing to like add things to my resume and making myself more valuable in the industry. When you do that, it brings a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I think to piggyback off of what you said, right? I think the most important thing, and I literally talked about this when recording the video today, is you got to look at yourself as a business, right? So one of the things
Yeah.
that you need to assess is how much is your service worth, right? Realistically, you have to gauge in the market of what people are really paying for these services. Now, you got some people that's going to try to lowball you, like companies that may underpay people to increase profits on their end. But look at seriously across the board, if you're a junior DevOps engineer or you have the skill set of a junior DevOps engineer, what can you master as far as salary in this market? Number two, and I feel in order to build the confidence, right, you just have to get out of your comfort zone, like you just said, and continue to learn and build your skill set, but also use your network to market yourself, right? So think about yourself as a business where if you had, like right now, if somebody said, you know what, I want to do a landscaping business, right? They're going to understand what people are willing to pay for the type of services they have, right? And they're going to increase their skill set and learn different things, whether it's, you know, through a training program or through YouTube or catching new ideas and trying them. But number three, after they invested into themselves and in their business, they're going to need to invest in themselves as far as marketing, right? You're not going to build a business and have all this budget and spend all this budget over here, but you don't have any budget for marketing. This is the same way that you need to think about your career. You have to network and leverage your network. So if no one knows about your skill set, how can you help them understand what you do, right? Because let's say you've been using Salary Overflow and you're looking at DevOps roles that's paying 80, 90, or even 100,000 in your area. How are you going to get that role? How are you going to get people to get eyes on you so they can understand your value and what you bring to the table? So I really think, just to piggyback off of what Kesha said, those three things will definitely help you, especially a tool like this, because you have plenty of data, right? Data is king. If you use the data, you can use it to your advantage. So when a company comes back with an offer, you can say, listen, from my research, this is what the market is paying for my skill set, and I'm expecting to get market rate. Because they're going to try to ask you what's your salary rate. No, market rate. I'm willing to accept market rate.
No, we want above market rate. No,
tell them above. You want to get that.
Why should we settle?
Hey, look, they said preach. You're right. Why should we settle? Seriously. So look, right now, if you guys getting value from this, right? If you like what we talk about, put the KW in the chat. I want to see KWs. So you getting value from it. Let me see KW. Yeah, put the KWs in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And
so, no, go ahead.
And to just piggyback on what you said there, whenever you receive a job offer, I would always say, don't be afraid to negotiate. Yeah. I know earlier in my career, when I started, whenever I was looking for a job, if I got a job offer, I was happy. And I just said, yes, I'll take it. But later in my career, I learned like people negotiate, like everybody except you. They negotiate when they get a job offer, and it comes with the territory. So I would say don't feel bad about negotiating your salary, and just always negotiate. Just it's meant to be negotiated. Yeah.
Yep. And once again, I'm going to piggyback off that and say, You know what the saying always goes: you don't get what you think you're worth, you get what you negotiate.
Right.
Right. So once again, I'm gonna use this analogy. It may not be the greatest one, but as far as going in for roles, especially when you're going in for your first role, we always look at, I'm going to take what they offer. I'm going to take what I can get, because we feel like if you get that offer, other offers may not come, right? This might be the only offer. Right. But you got to look at it like this. If you think of it as, and let me see if I can put this as a right thing. Think of it as you building your credit, right? And you go in and you get an offer, or you go into a dealership and they say, this is what you're approved for. These are the types of cars that we approved you for here, right? If you don't like those cars, you shouldn't take them. Some people go into dealerships and they take the car like, oh, I guess I'll get that one because that's all they can approve me for. This is all I can get right now. Mm-hmm. You got to understand is, if they approve you for these cars in this dealership, you can go to another dealership and get approved for cars there as well. You got to take the same mindset and tech as, if you get an offer from here and it's something that you really in your gut feel is not right for you, but don't put yourself in the mindset of, well, I'm just going to take it because this is all I'm getting offered right now and there's nothing else on the table. Keep working. That job is going to come and get you. Your offer is going to come that you negotiate, that you really want. Just stick to the process, and maybe longer than other people. You may see other people being successful, and it may even kill you inside. Trust me, I know. You may see somebody one of your friends get an offer, and you're like, man, I've been working my butt off. I got this measly offer, but keep working, because you're always going to get your return on investment. So sorry if I'm long-winded. I just want to piggyback off of what you just said. I apologize.
That's great advice.
So looking at Salary Overflow, let's look at like a junior dev. Do you have junior DevOps engineer data in there where we can look at what can junior developers or junior roles for people getting into tech, what can they really expect?
Let's see what's in there. So we have 23 junior roles. Let's see. Now, a junior loan processor, that does not sound like a tech job.
They figure they're going to help with the thing.
It's like, oh, well, we'll put it in here anyway. Let's see. Junior software engineer, 1 year experience.
Wow.
LA, 102. Let's see. Junior data scientist. That sounds like a fun role. No experience. Starting 75.
Wow, no experience. That's awesome, though.
Junior DevOps, so that's Australia. Junior software engineer, 44. That's a little
low, though.
That's really low. They cheated that person. I'm telling you that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Junior data analyst, New York, 65,000.
Okay. So once again, I feel these could be people, once again, who they could be in a area themselves where this is their first role. They took what was given.
Right. That 45,000, that's definitely what happened. Because what I've seen, and even, when I was like a software engineering manager, hiring people straight out of like college or boot camps, like their starting salaries were like around 80,000.
Yeah. So no one in our program, the level of a tech, has gotten an offer lower than, I'm going to say 78.5 as a junior DevOps engineer, all the way to about 106. So the money is out here for people who want to transition, and for those who already have the experience, the money is really out here for you.
Right.
So you can, it's no problem for you to make 140, 150 at home in a role that you have experience in. You have to understand this is your services that you're selling to the company, right? So if you're selling this to the company for a low rate, understand that they're making a crap pile of money off of your back.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you get your fair share so you can go on those vacations, and so you can, be able to live life the way you want, like other people that's in the same role as you that are negotiated as well. And this is a great tool to help you do that. So I want to ask this last question for you, then I'm going to open up for anyone who has questions. If you had to lay it out in steps, let's say the top 3 steps, what would you say people should do when they use Salary Overflow to land a role and want to pay to feel the necessary value of their skill set? What are the 3 things they should be doing?
Well, definitely, if you have a job offer in hand, I would say compare what you have to the data that's in Salary Overflow. That will give you, I guess, a great starting point, knowing whether or not you need to negotiate. And even if the data comes back and it says you don't need to negotiate, I'm telling you still negotiate. Always negotiate. And then you could also just use Salary Overflow to look at the high paying jobs. And then in your mind, kind of map out a path to get to that job, if that's the job that you want.
Right.
And then you can also look at like the different titles as well to see if your starting title kind of matches the salary that's in Salary Overflow.
Yeah, for sure. Because without research, you definitely won't have anything to stand on, right? I mean,
right.
You just going to say, "Oh, I want 110," and really, no one in your area is really paying that for that role.
Right.
Then you're just going to squeeze yourself out of that role. But if you come with the data, the confidence, the skill set, and prepared to say, "This is what I need to be able to in order to work for you," because you're interviewing the company as well. Don't think the company just has the power, like, right. Why do you want to work for us? And you're like, because I just need a job. No, you got to say, well, why should I work for you? How are other people being treated? How many Black people do you have working for you in this company? What does the diversity and inclusion really look like?
Right. And not just at the entry level, but in management.
Yeah, right. And really, what does support look like for Black women? In this company, and what does the culture look like? Do you have, I ask all types of questions. What attributes do your best employees have that makes them successful? And because you want to know what they value as a company as well. So because you may not hit on points that you have in an interview because you don't know that's important to them, but that's important for you to line it up so you can get that money that you research that you should be getting.
Right.
So, yeah. So I want to open it up for questions. I see Charles. Charles is a coaching level up. And Charles said, what is the best way to negotiate? Do you have any tips on that?
I can tell you. I remember when I started working at a company, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but after me being there for maybe a month or so and kind of getting to know the people, somebody made a comment. They were like, you gave them a hard time with negotiating. And somebody was like, well, good for her. Because, there's this stigma that women or African Americans just don't negotiate. And apparently I gave them a hard time because when I negotiated my role, they gave me the job offer and I came back with a new number and I laid out the exact bullet points for why I felt I was worth this amount of money. And so when you negotiate, you have to come back with valid data to back up what you're asking for. And that's what I did. So you have to have your bullet points laid out. You can't just say, like you were saying, oh, I want 150,000, but you don't have data or anything to back up why you should get that.
Yep. Research data is king. Just like she said, give them the hard time because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one doing the work and reaping the rewards that you negotiate. Right. So 6 months down the road, you don't want to be in a position where you're like, man, I'm not getting paid, not near what I'm worth. Well, you should have done that from the get-go. Once again, everyone listen to me. Once again, you are a business and you're selling your services. You're selling your talent. That's what you're doing. So think about if you had ice cream business and you selling your ice cream cones are worth $3, right? Because that's what the market is paying for ice cream cones. And somebody say, I give you $1.50 for the ice cream cone. You gonna sell it to them? No.
Nope.
So why would you do that with your career? Why would you do that with something that has the potential to build the life that you want? You're helping the company and the owners of that company or the board or the investors build the life they want. Why not do the same thing for you? Get that salary that you deserve. So I'm going to open the board up for more questions. Anybody have any more questions for Kesha? Make sure you put them in a comment. Open it up for a couple more minutes. Let's see what we got. Do we have any other questions that was up top? All right. So how do you, so Deja said, how do you negotiate a raise? I was offered an increase, but I know it was still below market.
Okay. So this is where if you're in a current role and you're getting a promotion, is that what you're talking about? Or this is like a company. Okay. So so if you're in a current role and you're getting a promotion, what I've seen work in the past, typically wherever you are, whatever role you're in, there's a salary range that is set for that role. And they should tell you what that range is so you know where you fall within that range. And once you have that information and you talk to your friends and see how much they're making, that will help you determine if what they are offering you is fair. And so a side piece to that, you really have to have good relationships with people that you work with. It's all about relationship building. So if I wanted to go ask my friend, hey, how much do you make? Or I wanted to go ask this guy, hey, how much do you make? Like he'll tell you or she'll tell you. So it's important to have good working relationships with the people that you work with. But then, like I said, for every role, there's a salary range and you should know what that range is and you should know where you fall in that range.
Yep. Great answer. So Jerry says, why is it difficult for people with certs not being hired? So I'll try to take this one as well. So I think with certifications, right, it's just kind of certifications lets the employer know that you have an understanding about a certain tools or topics that in that certain area. So like, for instance, AWS Certified Developer Associate does not make you a developer. It just teaches you the tools that AWS uses specifically to develop, right? So the reason if you have certs and you have a hard time getting hired is because you're not highlighting the skill set that you have that can help those companies solve problems and they see the value in it, right? So you can't go on with a company's asking you, they need somebody that's strong in infrastructure as code. They need somebody strong in configuration management and maybe some strong Linux admin skills. You can't come up here and say, well, I got 5 certifications. All right, so, hey, if you got 5 certifications and this is what we need, go ahead and build some repeatable infrastructure using Terraform. Let's see what you can do with creating some modules and modularizing some resource blocks. And you may be like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, that's where you don't have the skills to line up to be able to help them solve problems. Not saying you don't, Jerry, but you may not be putting them out in the forefront where they see and say, okay, this is where Jerry can be valuable to us at. The certifications for most companies really don't mean anything. For companies who, to me, it does mean something to, it's because they have a partnership with that vendor that they have to keep a certain amount of certified individuals there, and it might pay off for them in the long run to hire people that are certified. So they may be willing to upskill you while you're there. They may be willing to invest and upskill you into that role because it benefits them to have you certified. But for a lot of companies, you got to bring that skill set to the table, brother. So that's what I would say. Tamara said, so should we look for internships being new to the field with certs only. Do you want to take that?
Sure. So when I think about certifications, to me, it's a starting point. It's a foot in the door. Um, I think back on my days as a hiring manager, and if I had like a stack of resumes, on one side I had people with just certifications. In the middle, I had people with just experience. And on the other side, I had people with certifications and experience. They moved to the top of the pile. So I know it's always a tough question. It's like this back and forth, but okay, I have a certification. I'm trying to get a job, but I need experience, but I can't get experience unless I get a job.
Yep.
So I would say an internship is a great way to start really in any career. Like, I don't know how hard it is to find internships nowadays. But yeah, I think an internship is great experience. And even just building out your own personal portfolio that you can show people of actual applications or projects that you've done. Yeah. I think that also goes a long way if you don't have the job experience.
Yeah. So I would say, Tamara, as well, like Kesha said, building a portfolio of it, showing how you're able to solve problems, getting certified, right, are things that we do at Level Up in Tech. And we have opportunities for internships as well, right? So this is something that I think you really should have at least have a conversation with me about. I know we talked and chatted, we kikied a few times, you know what I'm saying? And really, you asked a few questions, but if this is something that you really set your heart on and you think this is what you want, let's talk about really doing the work and what it really takes. So I thought we had another question. I'm going to take this last question. Asher said, how do you feel about using recruiters because most success came from working with them? I'll let you go first if you don't mind. I don't want to
Sure. I think back to, I guess, all of the jobs that I've had. And I used a recruiter once.
So that one time.
Just once. And it's funny, like on LinkedIn, I get a lot of requests. And if I tell you're a recruiter, I automatically deny you. So I haven't really worked a lot with recruiters. I know they're successful in filling roles. But like I said, I've only used recruiters once.
I'll say recruiters so you got to look at recruiters for this, right? And I think this is the misconception of most recruiters. You have recruiters who care and are elite, and then you just have, to me, just recruiters. The just recruiters are not here to work for you. They're here to benefit the company. Yeah. Their main goal is to get a quality candidate that can be valuable to the company. It's not about you. I think people get attached to recruiters. I'm putting in the box of just recruiters. They get attached to those just recruiters and say, well, that person said he was going to do this and that and the other. Listen, for you, they got 30 other people in this pipeline because they're trying to fill the role for the company. And then you have the elite recruiters who go over and beyond and really see something in a person they may not see in themselves and push to get you in those roles. Now, those are the type of recruiters that if you could check somebody's track record or have somebody that, they may recommend a recruiter, you can ask them that question, like, so why do you recommend them? Have you worked with them? What have they done for you? And you may see a recruiter that's saying, somebody said, when this company wasn't going to take a chance on me, that recruiter pushed for me to get in there, and they gave me a second interview, and I nailed it. Those are the type of recruiters you want to deal with. I say, just always be leery and understand if a recruiter reach out to you, that they're trying to fill that role with somebody, and you're not the priority. You're just a part of the pipeline. So it's your job to do the research about the company, your salary, and understand the value you can bring so you can stand out in the pipeline so that recruiter can possibly push you through. And I'll take the last question we're going to have from Christian. Christian is a guest in our Level Up in Tech program. What is the lowest salary range should one be willing to accept for a junior role in any cloud-based sub-discipline? I say it depends on where you are. So, Christian, you're in Northern Virginia. You should be expecting a little bit more than average salary in the United States because your cost of living is super high, almost like, I guess it's number 2 other than San Francisco. In New York, probably number 3. So I think it's realistically you can get a 6-figure salary, maybe 110 in a junior level role as entry level, just because of the cost of living where you are. I think 110 is not out of the question for you. But once again, you can use Salary Overflow to check that data and see what companies are paying in Washington, D.C. So I appreciate everybody coming through. I want to give Kesha an opportunity to tell people how to connect with you. You want to go ahead and put your LinkedIn links, or if you're hot on Twitter. I know you're a superstar all over the board, and everybody want to work with you. So make sure y'all connect with Kesha. I'm telling you, she's shaking her head now. When you look at her profile and looking at people that's connected with her, you see why everybody want to connect with her.
I will put my information in the chat.
There we go. And also, I'm going to do a strong call to action right now. So if you guys have the desire to level up in tech, and you know in your heart you want to put the work in, you're ready to change your life, change your career, let us help you. And our program is 24 weeks. We work on several different topics. You're going to have 22 projects out of this program. You're going to work on projects every week to build your skill set. You got coaches that care. I care. I come from a non-technical background, so I understand exactly what you're going to go through when you're going through this process. Even people who have technical background and want to get into cloud, click that button up there that says click here. Come to Level Up in Tech. Look at our PDF overview about our program. Fill out our application. We're taking seats for June 1st. We're taking seats for July 1st. Connect with us now. Make sure you connect with Kesha, y'all. And I really appreciate you so much for coming on here and talking about Salary Overflow. Seriously.
My pleasure. It was a lot of fun sharing.
Yeah, so if you guys like this chat, I'm going to put up the video. Make sure you guys share the YouTube video. Put the KWs in the chat right now. I want to, look, if this was valuable, put the KWs in the chat right now. KW, I want to see the KWs on the screen. Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So, hey, until next time, keep leveling up in tech. My name is Broadus. That is Kesha Williams. And we out.
Bye.